11:52 p.m., downtown Los Angeles. Rain-soaked asphalt. Blood pooled between Jade's fingers. Warm, slick. Someone else's. The unconscious man beneath her wasn't breathing right. Shallow, erratic. Get your filthy hands off him. Jade didn't look up. Her torn jacket sleeve pressed into the motorcyclist's forearm, where arterial spray had painted the sidewalk red. She counted seconds. Pressure. Don't let go. The wound pulsed against her makeshift tourniquet. Her only clean shirt now crimson. Eduardo, the restaurant manager, shoved through the crowd of 40. His dress shoes splashed through puddles. "Police! I need police! This homeless junkie attacked this man!" 6 phones filmed. A woman in a BMW screamed into her window. "She went through his pockets. I saw her." Jade's voice stayed calm. "His radial arteries severed. 4 minutes without pressure and he's dead. She's threatening him." The woman shrieked. Sirens wailed 2 blocks east. The sidewalk reeked of gasoline and copper. Jade's backpack lay kicked open. Library books on emergency medicine scattered across wet pavement. Spines cracked. Have you ever been accused of violence while stopping someone from bleeding out? Real-life stories like these, black stories that become touching stories, prove how quickly life stories turn on the color of your hands holding the wound. 8 minutes earlier. At 11:44 p.m., Jade sorted recyclables under flickering streetlights. Glass 5 cents. Aluminum 10. Tonight's haul may be $12. Enough for breakfast. The Ducati screamed out of nowhere. Black bike. Chrome flashing. It swerved hard, avoiding a weaving sedan, and clipped the bus shelter. Metal shrieked. The rider flew 15 feet, hit concrete, helmet cracking. Jade dropped her cart. Ran blood sprayed from his forearm in pulses. Arterial. She'd watched this on YouTube, Dr. Rashid's trauma series, video 43. 4 minutes until shock, 8 until brain damage. She ripped her shirt, the clean one, into strips, wrapped tight above the wound. The spray weakened to oozing red. "Stay with me." His phone lit up beside him. Call ended. "Lisa, executive assistant, executive assistant." Not mom or wife. Jade filed that away. His jacket, Dane's logo, 800 minimum. Watch complications she couldn't name. 5 figures? Easy. His glove gripped something, a phone case, carbon fiber. Crowd formed fast. Phones out. Nobody helping. Eduardo saw it at 11:47 p.m. through Bella Notte's window. Homeless girl. Expensive motorcycle. Blood everywhere. He'd been robbed twice in 3 months. Junkies pretending to need help, then grabbing wallets. Insurance premiums were killing him. Corporate kept threatening to pull his bonus if incident reports climbed higher. This was another one. Had to be. "What did you do?" He shoved through onlookers. He crashed. "I'm stopping the bleeding. Everyone film this." She's robbing him. A teenager stepped up, skateboard, hoodie. "Nah, man." She ran over to help. Eduardo pulled out his phone. Dialed 911. Suspicious person assaulting injured motorcyclist. Sunset and Vine, black female, late teens, homeless. Refusing to leave. Hotel security arrived, big guy, graying temples. He looked at the tourniquet. Proper angle. Right pressure. She's doing first aid, Eduardo's voice rose. They stage these. Crash into someone, play savior, steal the wallet. You're helping her cover it. Jade didn't look up. His radial arteries severed. I let go, he dies. You want that on camera? Threatening me now? Eduardo spun to the crowd. You all see this? 6 live streams. Comments scrolling. Homeless PPL can be heroes. She's clearly high. Look at her. That manager is racist. OMG. She's gonna sue him for millions. Watch a BMW stopped. Woman inside, 50s, jewelry, perfect hair. I saw her going through his pockets. Jade's jaw tightened. Checking for medical ID, allergies, medications. Eduardo crossed his arms. Where do you live? I don't. Exactly. He turned to the guard. Vagrant. No liability. No accountability. The city lets people like her harass paying customers and wonders why businesses leave. Sirens 2 blocks out. The woman was already typing on her phone. Next door, community Facebook. Dangerous transient on Sunset, attacking people. Officer Hayes arrived, 30-something tired eyes, 8 years dealing with exactly this. She watched the teenager's video. Jade sprinting toward the crash, tearing her own shirt. Crowd forming after. Ma'am, you saved his life, Eduardo stepped closer, or caused it. They do this. Stage accidents create drama, then sue everyone for defamation when called out. It's fraud. Some heads nodded. The idea fit. It explained things. 51 p.m. Paramedics rolled up. Lead EMT, Maria, 20 years in, checked the tourniquet. Perfect placement. Textbook pressure. Where'd you train? YouTube. Maria paused, looked at Jade's hands. Steady despite the shaking. You should apply to nursing programs. Eduardo laughed, sharp, bitter. With what address? They lifted the rider. Helmet off. Asian man, early 40s, strong features. And that watch, Maria recognized it. Patek Philippe Nautilus. 80,000 on his wrist. His wallet slipped out. Officer Hayes bagged it. Black Amex Centurion. First-class boarding pass. Business card visible through plastic. M-Chach and Chief. Eduardo pointed at the bike. Check the storage. She took something. Hayes opened the lockbox. Registration, insurance, toolkit, nothing missing. You're free to go, Jade stood. Blood soaked her sleeves. She gathered her library books. Spines cracked, pages dog-eared. Emergency medicine. Trauma care anatomy atlas. My sleeping spot gets taken after midnight. Eduardo's voice chased her into the dark. I'm filing complaints. Corporate, city council. People like you are why this neighborhood's dying. Officer Hayes pocketed the business card. Something wasn't right here. By 11:56 p.m., 3 live streams had 10,000 views each. By midnight, the story was splitting into 2, hero or con artist. No one asked Jade which one was true. 30 a.m. 6th Street Bridge. Jade woke to someone kicking her sleeping bag. Move it. This is my spot. She rolled up her things fast, survival reflex. Didn't argue. The man was twice her size, smelled like whiskey and had nothing to lose. Neither did she, but she was smaller. Grand Park restroom. She scrubbed her hands under cold water. Blood under her nails wouldn't come out. She scrubbed harder. The soap dispenser was empty. She used water, scrubbed until her skin burned. By 8:15 a.m., Central Library opened its doors. Miss Chen looked up from the front desk. Her face changed, recognition, then concern. Jade, you're on the news. I know. Miss Chen's phone was already out. 3 videos. The numbers kept climbing. Video 1, 1.8 M views. Eduardo explaining how homeless people staged accidents to sue victims. How this was an epidemic. Video 2, 2.4 M views. The teenager's footage showing Jade running toward the crash. Video 3, 4.1 M views. Side-by-side comparison. Eduardo's lies versus reality. Comments scrolled past too fast to read. Jade caught fragments. She's a hero. Don't let them destroy her homeless PPL life for money. This is obvious. I'm never eating at Bellinotti again, she. Prob has warrants, that's why she won't talk to cops. Jade's chest tightened. This was too much attention. Attention got you hurt. Got you noticed by the wrong people. Got you questions about why you weren't in school, why you had no parents, why child services lost track of you 3 years ago. But she forced herself to watch all 3 videos. Twice. Something Eduardo said in his interview. These people know how to work the system. He was right. Just not the way he thought. 40 a.m. Computer Terminal 7. Jade logged in with her library card. Opened an incognito browser. Search. Executive Assistant Lisa Los Angeles, 17 million results. Useless. She went back to the crash footage. The teenager had uploaded raw files. Unedited 30 seconds of video before Eduardo arrived. Jade downloaded it. Scrubbed through frame by frame. There, the motorcyclist's phone screen. 3 frames where it was visible. Call ended. Lisa, executive assistant. And below that, barely readable. Chen. W.H. Chen. W.H. Initials. Company name. Search. Chen W.H. Los Angeles. First result. Chen Worldwide Holdings. Global Hospitality and Investment. Jade clicked. Corporate website. Sterile. Professional. A photo of their CEO on the About page. Marcus. Chen 43. Stanford MBA. Net worth estimated at 8.9 billion. The same strong features from last night. Same expensive watch. Jade's hands shook. Not fear, adrenaline, she kept digging. But the library's Wi-Fi was slow. Budget cuts meant outdated routers. Pages loaded like molasses. She had 30 minutes before the morning rush filled every computer. Search Chen Worldwide Holdings subsidiaries. The company was enormous: hotels, real estate, medical facilities, investment portfolios. She needed the corporate structure, needed to see who owned what. Her first search returned a 403-page annual report. It would take hours to read. She didn't have hours. Think. There had to be a faster way. She searched Chen Holdings Restaurant Acquisitions 2023. Nothing useful. Press releases. Puff pieces. Dead end. Jade's stomach cramped. She hadn't eaten since yesterday's lunch. 16 hours. She could feel her focus slipping. 15 a.m. She almost gave up. Then she remembered. Corporate acquisitions were public filings. SEC records, available to anyone. Search, SEC Edgar Chen Worldwide Holdings. The database looked like it was designed in 1997, text only. No search function worth anything. She scrolled through filings. Schedule 13D, Form 4, 10K annual reports there, Form 8K material events. Acquisitions filing date, March 2023. Acquisition of Prestige. Dining Group, 61% controlling interest. Jade opened a new tab. Search, Prestige Dining Group Restaurants Los Angeles. Their portfolio loaded. 47 locations across California, including Bella Norte, Sunset Boulevard, Eduardo's restaurant. The man she'd saved owned the company that employed the man calling her a criminal. Jade sat back. The library felt too small suddenly. Too bright. This changed everything. 50M. She printed 17 pages. Corporate structure. Acquisition documents. Prestige's restaurant list. Eduardo's workplace confirmed. The printer jammed twice. She had to ask the desk for help. Every minute felt like exposure. What if Eduardo came looking for her? What if someone recognized her from the videos? Ms. Chen appeared beside her. Jade, honey, are you okay? I'm fine. You're shaking. Jade looked at her hands. Ms. Chen was right. Did you eat today? Jade didn't answer. Ms. Chen disappeared. Came back with a protein bar and apple juice from the staff room. Eat. You can't think on an empty stomach. Jade ate. The sugar hit her system. Her hands steadied. There's a man at the front desk, Ms. Chen said quietly. He's been asking about you for 10 minutes. Jade's pulse spiked. What does he want? Says someone wants to thank you. His name's Reeves. 10:05 a.m. front desk. Reeves was 50-something. Expensive suit. Military posture. But his eyes weren't cold, they were assessing. Professional, Jade? She didn't confirm. Just waited. Marcus Chen would like to meet you. Why? To thank you for saving his life. He can send a card. Reeves smiled slightly. He'd prefer to do it in person. Tomorrow, if you're willing. Jade's mind raced. This was it. Her one chance. I have conditions. Reeves's eyebrows rose. Most people didn't negotiate with billionaires. Such as? No money. No publicity. And I need access to something. Access to what? Jade pulled out her folder. 17 pages. Eduardo Salazar's employment records, full file. Every complaint, every warning, everything. Reeves went very still. That's confidential. So is the fact that Marcus Chen owns the company that employs the man who called me a thief on camera, watched by millions. Silence. You researched this? Reeves said slowly. Public records. Took me 90 minutes. Your boss doesn't know Eduardo works for him, does he? Our holdings are extensive, which means you don't know what's happening in your own restaurants. I want to show him tomorrow. 10 a.m. his office. If he agrees, I'll explain why Eduardo isn't just my problem. He's a liability. She walked away before Reeves could respond. Her heart hammered. She might have just destroyed her only chance at help, but she couldn't accept charity. Charity disappeared. Charity made you grateful instead of equal. She needed leverage. 30 p.m. Eduardo's apartment. Eduardo scrolled through comments. The tide was turning against him. Choice racist manager was trending. His phone kept buzzing. Friends, family, asking if he was okay. His regional manager called. Third time today. Eduardo Corporate wants you to issue an apology. For what? I protected that man. The optics are bad. Just say you made a mistake, you're sorry, and move on. I'm not apologizing to some vagrant who... Then you're suspended. Pending investigation. The line went dead. Eduardo stared at his phone. Suspended for protecting someone. He called his cousin's friend, the PR guy. I need you to find dirt on that girl. Arrest records, drugs, anything. That's expensive, I don't care. They want to cancel me? I'll cancel her first. Raoul PM, Cedar Sinai Medical Center. Marcus listened to Reeves's report, then listened again. Sarah, his sister CFO, pulled up the research Jade had compiled. Reeves had photographed her folder. She found the Prestige connection in 90 minutes, Sarah said. Using public library Wi-Fi, Marcus studied the pages. Corporate structure. SEC filings. Restaurant portfolio. We own Billionaire. Through Prestige, yeah. We acquired them 2 years ago. They're one of 340 properties. Marcus was quiet for a long time. Then, get me Eduardo's employment file, everything. Marcus, she's right. If Eduardo's behavior is documented and we did nothing, we're liable. I want to know what we're dealing with. Sarah made the call. 30 minutes later, the file arrived. Encrypted email. 47 pages. Marcus read it twice. His jaw tightened. Sarah, yeah? Eduardo has 19 complaints. Discrimination, harassment, hostile work environment. Why wasn't he fired? Sarah scrolled through. They were informally resolved. HR handled them internally, meaning they buried them, meaning they didn't want lawsuits. Marcus closed the file. Set the meeting. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. And Sarah, I want legal counsel present. If this girl is right, we have a serious problem. 2 p.m., 6th Street Bridge. Jade ate her dinner, donated sandwich, slightly stale, and reviewed her notes. Tomorrow she'd walk into a billionaire's office. No address, no phone. Blood under her nails she couldn't scrub out. And she'd tell him his company rewarded racism. He'd either listen or throw her. Out, probably throw her out, rich. People didn't like being told they were wrong. They liked feeling generous. Liked writing checks and getting thank you letters. But Jade couldn't afford to be grateful anymore. Grateful meant accepting scraps. Grateful meant staying invisible. She thought about Marcus Chen's phone screen. Executive assistant. Not mom, not wife. She thought about Eduardo's face when he'd kicked her backpack. The way he'd looked at her, not angry but disgusted. Like she was dirt. Tomorrow she'd make him see her, or she'd prove that billionaires were just like everyone else. They only cared about problems when those problems threatened them. She fell asleep hoping she was Dorosmont 45M Century City. The either town car's leather smelled like wealth. New, expensive, wrong Jade. Sat with her backpack on her lap. The driver hadn't spoken since picking her up. Professional silence. The kind that cost money. Reeves had left a garment bag on the seat. Note, Mr. Chen thought you might want interview clothes. No obligation. MC inside, blazer, slacks, blouse. Her size exactly. Someone had researched her body. Shelter intake forms maybe. Or cameras measuring her shoulders, waist, inseam while she walked past buildings she'd never enter. Rich people collected data, the way she collected cans. Jade changed in the library bathroom. Kept her Converse, soles worn through, duct tape holding the left one together. They could dress her in their uniform, but her feet would remember concrete. The tower was glass and steel. 47 floors. Chen Worldwide Holdings. Floors 40 through 47. Jade had calculated the rent last night. $4.85 per square foot. 89,000 square feet. 431,650 monthly. More than she'd see in a lifetime. The lobby smelled chemical clean. Fake flowers. No, real flowers. Weekly deliveries, probably. Discarded when they wilted. Can I help you? The receptionist's smile was professional. Then she saw Jade's shoes. I have a meeting. 47th floor. Marcus Chen. The smile tightened. Name? Jade. Typing. Then her face shifted. Surprise covered fast. Mr. Reeves will escort you. Reeves appeared. Right on time. The elevator was glass walls. Jade watched the city drop away. Her stomach lurched, not from motion. From height. From the distance between this world and hers, nervous. Reeves asked. Jade's hands were shaking. She shoved them in her pockets. Should I be? Marcus doesn't intimidate easily. But he respects honesty. And if I'm not honest, then you're wasting both your time and his. Floor 47. The doors opened to windows everywhere, the sky, city, mountains barely visible through smog. Art on walls, originals probably. 5 figures minimum. A woman stood by the window, early 40s. Suit sharper than Jade's borrowed one. Eyes sharper than anything. Jade, Sarah Chen, Marcus's sister, CFO. Sarah's handshake was a test. Jade squeezed back, not too hard, not weak, equal. Before you meet Marcus, I need to understand your angle. My angle? You researched our company. Found connections we didn't know existed. You're either exceptionally intelligent or running a long con. Sarah crossed her arms. Which is it? Jade met her eyes. If I wanted money, I'd ask for money. I'm asking for HR files. You tell me which makes sense. HR files give you leverage. Leverage turns into lawsuits. Lawsuits turn into settlements. Or HR files show you have a systemic problem before it becomes a class action disaster that costs you 50 million instead of 5. Sarah studied her for 10 seconds. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone grateful, humble, asking for handouts. I'm grateful I could help. I'm not humble about what I'm worth. And handouts disappear. Jade paused. I want something permanent. Sarah's expression shifted, something like respect. Follow me. The conference room table seated 20. Marcus Chen stood when she entered, arm in a sling. Otherwise he looked like his corporate photos. Strong features, expensive suit despite injury, eyes that evaluated everything. Jade, thank you for coming. His voice was calm. No pity, no savior complex. Just acknowledgement. Jade set her backpack on the table. You wanted to thank me. I do. You saved my life. You're welcome. Can I leave now? Silence. Then Marcus smiled, small, genuine. You don't want anything? I didn't say that. Sit, please, Jade sat. Calculated distances. Door 12 steps. Elevator 30 feet. Fire stairs. Probably 40, always map exits. Marcus sat across from her. Sarah remained standing. Observer, evaluator. Most people would ask for money, Marcus said. Most people don't know what to ask for. And you do? Jade pulled out her folder. 17 pages. Slid it across, Marcus opened it, read. His expression changed, surprise, then something harder. You found the Prestige dining connection. Took 90 minutes. Public records. Sarah leaned over, read. Her jaw tightened. How? Your brother's phone said executive assistant. That's corporate. I found his company through motorcycle forums. Found your acquisition through SEC filings. Found Eduardo's restaurant in your portfolio. Jade paused. You didn't know he worked for you. We own 340 food service locations. Marcus's voice was careful. I don't know every manager. Maybe you should. The room went cold. Sarah's eyes widened. People didn't talk to Marcus Chen like that. Marcus looked up. Why? Because Eduardo has complaints. Lots of them. Your HR buried them. That's liability. Jade pulled out another page. I found Glassdoor reviews from ex-employees. They mention manager ES and HR protecting him. His file is worse than what's public. Sarah took the page. Scanned it. Where did you... I didn't get his file yet, but I know it exists. Pattern recognition. Marcus and Sarah exchanged looks. She's right, Sarah said quietly. I pulled his file yesterday. 19 documented complaints. Marcus closed the folder. What do you want? 30 days. I audit Prestige Dining Group. Find the systemic gaps. You fix them. You're 19, homeless, no credentials. I'm 19, homeless. I taught myself emergency medicine well enough to save your life using YouTube. Jade leaned forward. You think I can't read HR policies and spot discrimination patterns? Silence, why should I trust you? Marcus asked. You shouldn't. Trust my work. 30 days. If my findings are useless, I walk away. What do you get? Case study. Something for college applications. Proof I can think strategically. Sarah frowned. Not asking for housing? Salary, food? If I can't deliver value, I don't deserve those things. Marcus was quiet. Jade counted 15 seconds. Strangest consulting pitch I've ever heard. Is that yes or no? Marcus pulled out his phone. Opened an email. Turned it toward her. Subject, cease and desist. Jade. No last name, from Eduardo's lawyer. Dated this morning, Jade read it. Her chest tightened, but her hands stayed steady. Defamation, harassment, damage to reputation. Intent to sue. Eduardo's claiming you staged the accident, Marcus said. That you're running a scam targeting wealthy victims. He's threatening litigation. He paused. If you work for me, you're going up against someone with resources and motivation to destroy you. Can you handle that? Jade thought about Eduardo kicking her backpack, about his voice calling her a junkie, about 2 million people watching her get accused. He already tried destroying me. I'm still here. That's not an answer. Jade looked at Marcus. When you crashed, you were alone, unconscious, bleeding out. Nobody helped until I did. Eduardo kicked my belongings while I was saving your life. He called me filth. Her voice stayed level. He doesn't get to rewrite that story, so yes, I'm prepared. Marcus studied her for a long moment. Okay, 30-day trial. Housing stipend? No. Sarah raised an eyebrow. No, not stipend. Temporary company housing. If I fail, I return it. If I succeed, we renegotiate. Jade paused. I won't take charity. It's not, if you're paying me without deliverables, it's charity. I need to earn it. Marcus looked at Sarah. Sarah shrugged, impressed despite herself. Fine, temporary housing, laptop, phone, security clearance. Consultant rate. He named a figure. Jade's eyes widened. That's non-negotiable. Market rate for strategic consulting. It was more than she'd earn in 6 months collecting cans. Maybe a year if I fail. You earned it for trying. That's how professionals work. Sarah pulled up a contract on her tablet. Read carefully. Signed if you agree. Jade read every word, twice, no hidden clauses. No ownership of her findings beyond the 30 days. No non-compete preventing her from using this experience. It was fair. She signed. Marcus signed. Sarah witnessed done. Sarah walked her back to the elevator. You know what you just did? Sarah asked. Started a job. You negotiated contract terms with a billionaire from a position of homelessness and won concessions. Sarah smiled slightly. That's rare, or stupid, probably both. The elevator arrived. Sarah handed her a phone. Company line. My number's saved. Call if Eduardo escalates. Call if you need anything. She paused. Don't underestimate him. Desperate men are dangerous. The doors closed. Jade rode down, watching the city rise to meet her. The phone felt heavy, real, like proof she existed. Outside, sunlight felt different, warmer, or maybe she was different. She walked to the library. Ms. Chen looked up and smiled. How'd it go? I think everything just changed. No, sweetheart. You changed it. Jade logged into her new email at a computer. Terminal Jade.consultantu Chen Holdings. Com first. Message from Sarah. Subject Eduardo Salazar employment file. Confidential. Attachment 47 pages. Jade opened it. Started reading. By page 3 her hands shook, not fear. Rage. Eduardo hadn't just discriminated. He'd been rewarded. Bonuses for improving customer quality metrics. Code for driving away poor people and people of color. Jade kept reading. By page 20 she understood. Eduardo wasn't the problem. The system that created him was, and she had 30 days to prove it. Day 1. Extended stay hotel. The room had a bed. Jade sat on the edge for 20 minutes before touching it. Clean sheets felt wrong, like borrowing someone else's life. She tested the shower. Hot water didn't stop after 30 seconds. Didn't stop after 5 minutes. She stood under it until her skin burned red, watching 3 days of blood finally spiral down the drain. The laptop sat on the desk in its box. Note from Sarah. Password is your choice. Don't make it stupid. Jade opened it. The screen glowed. Waiting, she created folders. Downloaded Eduardo's file. Stared at the first page. Then closed the laptop and lay on the floor. The carpet was softer than concrete, but beds still felt like traps. Too comfortable. Too easy to get used to. Day 3, Chen Holdings sub-level workspace. They'd given her a windowless conference room, fluorescent lights that hummed, a desk someone had forgotten about. Jade spread Eduardo's file across the table. 47 pages. She read each one 3 times. First complaint, 2019. Server Maria Gonzalez reported Eduardo told her to lose the accent or work in the kitchen. HR response. Informal counseling completed. Employee satisfied with resolution, except Maria had quit 2 weeks later. Second complaint 2020, Busa DeAndre, Washington. Eduardo questioned whether he'd stolen food every shift. HR response, manager denies allegation. Insufficient evidence to proceed. DeAndre was still there. Still being watched. By page 20, Jade's hands were shaking. Not from fear. From recognition. These were her stories. Different names. Same humiliation. She documented everything in a spreadsheet: date, complainant. Eduardo's response. HR's response outcome pattern: 13 complaints buried as informal. Only 6 made official records, but the data wasn't enough. She needed motive. Day 5, she found nothing useful. Training manuals were generic corporate speak. Deliver exceptional service. Maintain brand standards. Nothing explicitly discriminatory. Jade wanted to throw the laptop. This was a waste. Eduardo was smart enough not to write "be racist" in official documents. She went back to the library that night. Ms. Chen found her sleeping at a table at closing time. Jade, honey. You have a hotel room. I know, so why are you here? Because the library felt real. Because the hotel felt like a test she'd fail. Jade went back to work. Day 7, the PR attack. Ms. Chen showed her the article. Was the homeless hero really homeless? Photos of Jade at UCLA. Old student ID, campus events. The narrative: she lied about being homeless. She's running a scam. What else is fake? Comments exploded. Half the internet turned against her. Jade read every comment. Let the hatred sink in. Memorized the patterns, then she called Sarah. They found my past. We know. Don't respond. Why not? Because desperate people make mistakes. Eduardo's making mistakes. We're documenting them. Jade didn't understand, but she kept working. Day 9, breakthrough at 3 a.m. Jade couldn't sleep. Went back to the files. Looked at financial records instead of HR complaints. Eduardo's compensation history. Base salary plus bonuses, 2021. $8,500 bonus. Performance note: improved customer quality metrics. Customer quality metrics. What did that mean? She searched the employee portal. Found the metrics definition buried in a 2019 memo. Customer quality. Average spend per table visit, repeat customer rate, premium item conversion. Nothing discriminatory. Just business. Except Eduardo's location had the highest customer quality scores and the most discrimination complaints. How do you improve customer spend? By serving customers who spend more. How do you get those customers? By driving away customers who spend less. Jade pulled up email archives. Searched Eduardo's name. Found internal messages. Eduardo to Regional Director Simmons, March 2021. Low-value walk-ins hurting peak hour revenue. Need guidance on maintaining upscale positioning. Low value. He'd written it. Actually written it. Simmons' reply: use discretion. Dress code enforcement at host stand. Can't have explicit policies, but atmosphere matters. Dress code enforcement. Code for turn away people who look poor. Jade kept digging. Found more Eduardo. April 2021. Reduced problematic clientele through stricter standards. Revenue up 18% month over month. Simmons: excellent. This is the model we want. Then the bonus approval. Eduardo Salazar demonstrates exceptional ability to enhance location profitability through strategic customer management. They'd paid him $8,500 to discriminate. Called it strategy. Jade pulled up other managers' files. Found 3 more with similar bonus patterns. All had complaints. All had the same language: customer quality, strategic management, upscale positioning. This wasn't Eduardo going rogue. This was policy. She worked for 16 straight hours, built the presentation. Every email, every bonus, every buried complaint, every coded phrase. By 7 p.m. day 10, she had 87 slides. She emailed it to Marcus and Sarah. Subject: the Eduardo problem is a system problem. Then collapsed on the hotel floor and cried for the first time in 3 years. Day 14, Sarah called her. We need to talk about your presentation. Jade's stomach dropped. It's wrong? It's devastating. Legal says this is a class action lawsuit waiting to happen. Sarah paused. Which means we need to act first. How confident are you in these findings? Completely. Confident enough to present them to Eduardo? To our CEO? To the board? Jade's throat went dry. You want me to present this? You found it. You built the case. They need to hear it from you. I'm 19. I've been homeless for 3 years. They won't listen to me. Then make them listen. Day 18. Eduardo's counterattack intensified. New articles appeared daily. Jade's troubled past. UCLA dropout targets successful manager. His PR firm was relentless. They found her foster care records, her pneumonia, her scholarship loss. Spun it as bitter failure targeting people who succeeded where she couldn't. Jade stopped reading comments, started practicing her presentation instead. She rehearsed in front of the bathroom mirror. 40 times 50, 60. Her voice kept shaking. She forced it steady. Day 19, 9:45 a.m. Chen Holdings, 47th floor. The boardroom was full. Marcus, Sarah, legal counsel. Prestige CEO Richard Voss on screen. 3 board members and Eduardo. With his lawyer, Eduardo saw her and froze. Then his face twisted. Confusion to recognition to rage. Wait, her? Jade is consulting for Chen Holdings, Sarah said calmly. She has full access to all relevant files, Eduardo's lawyer whispered urgently. Eduardo shook his head, face red. Jade opened her laptop. Her hands shook. She gripped the table edge. Marcus caught her eye. Nodded once. Jade put the first slide on screen. The Eduardo problem is a system problem. Her voice came out quieter than she wanted. Mr. Salazar has 19 documented complaints spanning 5 years. Discrimination, harassment, hostile work environment. She looked at Eduardo. You're aware of this? Those were resolved. 13 were buried as informal resolutions. 6 made official records. Why the discrepancy? Eduardo's lawyer started to object. Marcus raised a hand. Let her finish. Jade advanced slides. Showed the emails. Eduardo's own words. Low-value customers. Problematic clientele. Strategic customer management. The room went silent. These phrases, Jade continued, voice steadier now, appear in emails where Mr. Salazar discusses improving revenue by, she paused, reducing problematic walk-ins. Eduardo leaned forward. That's taken out of context. What's the context for calling human beings low value? Jade's voice stayed level. What context makes it acceptable to receive an $8,500 bonus for strategic customer management when that strategy means discriminating by appearance? She showed the bonus memo. Eduardo's compensation. The approval chain, Richard Voss on screen, looked like he might be sick. Richard, Sarah said quietly. Did you authorize these bonuses? The previous CEO established the program. You continued it after we acquired Prestige. Marcus's voice was ice. For 2 years. Ramon, legal counsel, cleared his throat. This creates massive liability. Every complaint since 2019 is now potentially part of a pattern discrimination lawsuit. Jade showed the next slide. 4 other managers with similar bonuses and complaints. It's not just Mr. Salazar. 4 other managers received customer quality bonuses. All have complaints. This is systemic. She pulled up the training manual page. Assess customer value within 30 seconds. This language teaches managers to profile, to decide in 30 seconds who deserves service. That's discrimination codified as policy. Eduardo shot to his feet. This is character assassination. She's twisting everything because I exposed her scam. Sit down, Mr. Salazar. Marcus's voice cut through the room. You're being evaluated, not prosecuted. Eduardo sat. His lawyer looked defeated. Jade showed her final slide. 2 options. Option A, fire Eduardo. Minimal reform. High lawsuit risk at option B. Terminate all managers with discriminatory bonuses. Implement comprehensive reform. External audit. Option B costs $4.8 million annually, Voss said. Your current settlements cost $2.1 million yearly, Jade countered. Legal fees $800,000. This exposure could trigger a class action worth $50 million. She paused. Option B saves money while solving the problem. Sarah ran numbers. She's right. Plus positive PR could recover our social media losses. Marcus leaned forward. Richard. 48 hours. Implement her framework or I exercise our buyout clause. You can't. Clause 8.7. Failure to maintain brand standards constitutes cause. Marcus's voice was absolute. Fix this or I replace your entire executive team. Voss's face went gray. And if we comply. Chen Foundation co-funds the reforms. We promote it. Prestige sets new industry standards. You become the solution. Long silence. Voss calculated. Implementation plan by Wednesday. And Eduardo's suspension publicly by end of business today. Eduardo stood again. This is wrongful termination. You're suspended pending investigation, Ramon said. Your contract section 14.3. Maintain professional conduct. You violated that on camera. Your emails document the rest. Eduardo's lawyer pulled him back down. It was over. The room emptied. Only Marcus, Sarah, and Jade remained. Jade's legs felt weak. She sat down hard. How do you feel? Marcus asked. Jade thought about Eduardo's face. About proving she was worth more than recycling cans. About crying on the hotel floor. Tired. You just dismantled a multi-million-dollar liability in 20 minutes. Marcus slid a contract across the table. VP of Equity and Inclusion. Full-time. Read it. Think about it. 48 hours. Jade picked it up. Her hands finally stopped shaking. She'd earned this. Not been given it. Earned it. I'll read it carefully. Marcus smiled. I'd expect nothing less. Day 30. The press release went live at 6 p.m. Jade read it on her phone. Corporate letterhead. Legal language. Her name in the middle. Terminated for violations of professional conduct standards. Prestige Dining Group acknowledges systemic failures in training and incentive structures. Comprehensive reforms designed by equity consultant Jade Williams. She read it 3 times, felt nothing. Then her hands started shaking. She'd won. But winning tasted like metal. Like blood she couldn't wash off. Eduardo's Instagram post appeared at 11 p.m. Betrayed by corporate politics. Punished for protecting company interests. This is what happens when mob justice replaces due process. 18,000 likes in 40 minutes. Comments split. Support versus celebration. Then former employees found it. He told me to fix my hair or get fired. My hair was natural. I'm black. He asked during my interview if I was legal. I'm 4th-generation American. He kept my tips. Said I didn't smile at the right customers. 47 comments. All documented. All time-stamped. Eduardo deleted the post within an hour. But screenshots lived forever. His lawyer called him. Told him to stop talking, stop posting. Disappear. Eduardo tried fighting for 3 weeks. Threatened lawsuits. Contacted journalists. Played the victim. No one bit. The emails were too damning. The pattern too clear. By week 4 he was working at a competitor restaurant. Server position, not management. 50% pay cut. Sarah mentioned it during a weekly check-in. Eduardo's at some chain in Pasadena. Bussing tables. Jade waited for satisfaction. Felt only exhaustion. Good. That's it. Just good? Revenge is temporary. Reform is permanent. Which one matters? Sarah smiled slightly. You sound like Marcus. I sound tired. Week 6, training implementation. The first manager quit during bias training. This is PC bullshit, he said, walking out. I'm not apologizing for expecting standards. Jade watched through the one-way glass. Took notes. 2 more quit by week 7, refused retraining. Chose termination over accountability. Prestige HR director was nervous. We're losing experienced managers. You're losing managers who can't adapt, Jade corrected. There's a difference. By week 10, 96% passed training. The 4% who left were precisely who needed to leave. The Bitave numbers started shifting. Month 2, discrimination. Complaints down 34% a month. 3, employee retention among staff of color up. 28% month 4, customer. Satisfaction highest in industry, but Jade didn't celebrate. She watched for backsliding. 4 managers gaming the system. For HR burying complaints differently. The secret shopper reports came back. Mixed. Some locations excellent, others concerning. She flagged 23 locations. Demanded intervention. Sarah reviewed her notes. You're being harder on them than I expected. Because the second we relax it all slides back. Systems don't stay fixed. They need constant pressure. You sound exhausted. I am exhausted. Month 4, the UCLA letter arrived. Jade stared at it for 10 minutes before opening. We are pleased to offer you readmission to UCLA's pre-medical program. Your scholarship has been reinstated. She read it sitting on her apartment floor. Her apartment, 1 bedroom, walls still mostly empty. She'd been living there 3 months and hadn't hung anything up. Temporary, everything felt temporary. She called Miss Chen. I got in. Miss Chen's voice cracked. Of course you did. I don't know if I can do both. UCLA and VP at Chen Holdings. So pick one. That's not... Jade stopped. Why would I pick one? Because you're allowed to, sweetheart. You're allowed to choose what you want instead of what you think you owe. Jade sat with that for 3 days, then called Marcus. I need to renegotiate my contract. Go ahead. Part-time VP 3 days a week. The other 4 I'm at UCLA. Marcus was quiet. Then, that's a 50% workload reduction. I know, you'll still get full benefits. Adjusted salary but full benefits, deal. Jade blinked. You're not going to fight me on this. Why would I? You're building a career, not just surviving. That's the point. She hung up, sat in silence, started crying, gut-wrenching sobs she'd been holding for months. Victory wasn't supposed to feel like grief. Month 5. Forbes published the profile. Under 30 social impact professional photo. Her story, accurate this time. The article mentioned 6 restaurant chains licensing her framework, 3,400 locations, California's Dignity in Service Act, Chen Foundation's $250 million pledge. Jade read it once. Didn't frame it. Didn't celebrate. She wrote a letter to her old foster care caseworker instead. Remember when you said I'd never amount to anything? She wrote it 4 times, each version angrier than the last. Then she burned them all in her kitchen sink. Some people didn't deserve her energy. Month 6. Eduardo's final attempt. His lawyer sent a defamation demand. $500,000. Chen Holdings Legal responded in 2 sentences. Discovery will require proving Ms. Williams' findings were false. Shall we proceed to depositions? The lawsuit disappeared within a week. Jade heard Eduardo move to Arizona. Different industry. Different life. She hoped he'd learned something. Doubted it. Stopped caring. Her rage had burned out. Left only purpose move-in day. UCLA dorms. Jade packed light. Medical textbooks. Laptop. Notebooks. The borrowed blazer. Cleaned, returned to Sarah with flowers and a note. Thank you for seeing me when I was invisible. Her duct-taped Converse stayed. Marcus had offered replacements. Designer brands. You're VP of a Fortune 500 company. She'd declined. These shoes walked me through hell. They get to walk me into medical school. On her desk, a framed photo, the crash site. Her backpack spilled. Library books scattered. Blood on pavement. Below it, handwritten, observation kept me alive. Strategy gave me power. Refusing invisibility gave me everything. Tomorrow, UCLA orientation. Part-time VP, full-time student. Impossible schedule. Perfect challenge tonight. She let herself feel it, not just pride. Exhaustion too. Grief for how hard she'd fought for basic dignity. Rage at systems that made her fight at all. And hope. Stubborn, relentless. Earned. The kind that saved lives while being accused of destroying them. The kind that turned blood-stained hands into policy reform. The kind that proved one person, homeless, dismissed, overlooked, could dismantle discrimination brick by brick if they refused to disappear 6 months later. UCLA Medical Library, 2 a.m. Jade sat surrounded by pre-med students sleeping on textbooks. Organic chemistry exam tomorrow. Everyone was cramping. She studied molecular diagrams. Phone buzzed. Sarah, California Senate passed Dignity in Service Act. Your framework is now state law. 7,200 restaurants must comply by Q2. Jade stared at the message. State law. Built from public library research and blood on pavement, she went back to studying. Test was in 6 hours. The changes multiplied without her watching. Chen Foundation's Bridge Program, 340 formerly homeless individuals placed in stable jobs. 19 on management tracks. Bella Norte, Eduardo's old restaurant, now had a formerly homeless veteran as head chef. He'd earned it through Jade's pathway. Wore the same kitchen whites Eduardo once wore. Secret shopper reports. 91% of prestige locations passing bias audits. The 9% failing faced immediate intervention. 6 major chains licensed her. Framework. Target, Chipotle, Starbucks, 3,400. Locations nationally implementing versions of her. Policies, Harvard Business School case study. From sidewalk to boardroom. Her photo on page 1, she kept it in a drawer. Never framed it. Replication mattered more than recognition. Marcus's Ducati sat in LAPD training facility. Rebuilt, donated. Used to teach officers about split-second bias. Officer Hayes ran the program now, called Jade quarterly. You changed how we trained 2,000 officers, Hayes said last month. I gave you data. You did the work. Don't diminish what you built. Jade thought about that. About diminishing versus humility. About taking up space after years of being told she took up too much. Still learning the difference, Ms. Chen called on Jade's 20th birthday. How's it feel? 2 decades. Jade looked around her apartment. Medical textbooks stacked. Laptop showing equity dashboards. The crash photo still pinned above her desk. Backpack spilled. Library books scattered. Her hands pressing life into dying flesh. Feels like I'm still proving something. To who? Jade paused. Everyone who saw me on that sidewalk and decided I was dangerous. And when do you stop proving? I don't know. That's the work, sweetheart. Figuring out when enough is enough. The original livestream, 4 million views, comments locked after death threats. But it remained permanent record. Jade watched it sometimes. Eduardo screaming accusations. Crowd filming. Her voice calm. If I let go, he dies. That moment contained everything. Not the accusation. The refusal to let someone die because helping might destroy her. These real-life stories don't wrap neatly. Black stories don't always deliver justice on schedule. But touching stories, ones that crack systems open, create ripples nobody can stop. Life stories matter most when they force strangers to question assumptions about worth, credibility, who deserves dignity when their hands are covered in someone else's blood. UCLA campus, golden hour. Day 217, Jade walked wearing duct-taped Converse. Students passed. Some recognized her, most didn't. Invisibility used to suffocate. Now it felt like breathing. She'd proven what needed proving, changed what could change. The rest was showing up. Every day. Doing work, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. I reported discrimination at work using your framework. They're investigating. Thank you for showing us we can fight. Jade stopped walking. Read it twice. Typed, you showed yourself. I just gave you language for what you already knew was wrong. She kept walking. Past the medical building where she'd take anatomy next semester. Past the library where she'd once studied with no home to return to. Past the quad where students complained about impossible schedules while she juggled VP duties and pre-med course load and forgot sometimes that having too much to do was a gift. The sunset hit the buildings, made everything gold. Jade thought about Eduardo, wherever he was now, probably still believing he'd been wronged. About Marcus, who trusted a homeless girl's research over his own board's instincts. About Miss Chen, who'd given her Wi-Fi passwords and protein bars and saw her before anyone else did. About the moment she'd pressed her shirt into arterial spray and decided one life mattered more than her safety. That decision built everything after. A student approached, nervous. You're Jade Williams, right? The consultant, sometimes. Today I'm pre-med, tomorrow I'm both. Can I ask you something? Jade waited. How did you know you could do it? Change everything? Jade looked at her duct-taped shoes. At the student's expensive sneakers, pristine and new. I didn't know. I just knew staying invisible would kill me slower than trying. The student nodded. Walked away thinking. Jade kept walking. Phone buzzed again. 6 more messages from people using her framework. Fighting back, documenting, refusing silence. If you've witnessed injustice, document everything. Share your story below. Tag someone who needs to see this. Subscribe if you believe one voice can dismantle what power built on silence. Because change doesn't start with permission. It starts when you refuse to disappear. When you turn what they called weakness into evidence. When you prove dignity isn't negotiable, even with blood under your nails. The sun dropped below buildings. Campus went dark. Jade walked toward her apartment. Her home, temporary or permanent, didn't matter anymore. She'd earned the right to stop proving. Starting tomorrow, she'd learn how. Screen fades to black. Text appears. Eduardo Salazar. Last employment, non-management, Arizona, Jade Williams, VP Equity and Inclusion, Chen Holdings, Pre-Med UCLA. Consultant to 14 corporations, 3,400 plus locations, nationwide Dignity in Service Act, California law, February 2026, lives impacted, 847,000 plus employees. The work continues.